Wakanda forever. I just got it's the pollinator, and I know it has been a minute. Boy, this last month has been truly exciting. But anyway, I was saying, I saw Wakanda Forever, Black Panther last weekend. And listen, it's a really good movie, but I was so tired from moving that I fell asleep in the theater with all that noise, all that racket going on. And I'm wearing one of my caps right now because I need a haircut. I need a new barber in this area. I tried to get to mine today, but he was busy shopping, Christmas shopping, and couldn't get me till later. And I said, I'm not sticking around this area to come visit you. So it's real clear I'm going to have to get a barber out here. But I just bought my first house. And when I tell you this has got to be the most exhilarating, humbling, grateful experience I've ever had, I mean it. It takes a lot to buy a house in this market. This market is insane, and it was really God who just jumped hoops and just makes things happen out of nothing. Everything that has been taken from me is being returned tenfold, and I do mean that. Listen, I have been homeless 3 times in my life. I just did an interview with a young lady that it was a real moving interview about being a trans elder. And I told her I had been homeless twice, and I made a mistake. I had been homeless 3 times. I was also, I was homeless in 2001, again in 2005, but also in 1976, I think, 1976, 77, when I was a teenager. And each time, I just clawed and fought my way out of those situations to make my life even better. And right now I can truly say I'm living my best life. This is remarkable. There's so much space here. I keep losing everything. Where's my phone? Where's my Bluetooth? Where's this? Where's that? And I keep leaving it in different rooms and forgetting where I put things. So I'm walking all around. This is a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath house that's 2 levels. So my knees are screaming at me, but you know what? I'm skipping around singing while I'm hurting. Who wouldn't in my position? If I have anything to offer this world, it would be how I made a comeback each time I fell down. How I didn't give up. How even though I got depressed, I didn't give up on that either. How I just kept pushing and clawing and working my way back from situations like that. And I hear people, especially men, and I can't stand it when it happens, but they whine a lot about their circumstances. And I'm telling you, there's a place you can go in this universe where circumstances don't matter. Let's say that again. Circumstances don't matter. What matters is your faith and your connection to your Creator. And if you're not spiritual or religious, you end up believing in something that brings you up and out of situations that life just sometimes kicks you in the teeth. And especially the young people that I work with, I have children. I'm a surrogate father to some young people around the world, and they don't know that life can really throw you some curveballs. And attest to your character is how you come out of that. If you come out of that, when you come out of that, how fast you come out of that, how long you sit back and say the woe me's and why me's and, well, why not you? You are one of 7 billion, over 7 billion people on the planet. I wonder if we've gotten to 8 yet, but listen, when things happen, the universe does not care what your situation is. If you believe in your circumstances will beat you every single time. They will beat you if you believe more in them than you believe in something greater than yourself to get you out of it. I don't know what to call that in the spiritual world or the non-spiritual world, but there's just some place that you can tap into that will move mountains, create miracles. The way I read it in the Bible was that Jesus told his disciples that they could do what he did, but they did not believe him. They did not believe themselves worthy. And so those kinds of things didn't happen for them. But for those who believed what he said, that they too can create the miracles that he was creating, they are able to do that. It's a matter of, what was that? Henry Ford. If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Very simple statement, but you know what? Rarely do people know what it means. If you think you can do something, you can do something. If you think you can't do something, then you can't do that something. So whatever it is going on in your life, if you think you can rise above, then you will. If you think you can't, then you won't. It's as simple as that. Anyway, the world is going a little insane right now. The United States is going crazy. As much divisiveness and all this stuff is going on. In the middle of it, I bought a house. I can't even, I'm still pinching myself. It's actually surreal. I had a townhouse in California in the latter 1980s. And I was thrilled with that. I worked myself up from being homeless and joining the military and ending up with a career and then ending up with a townhouse in California. And at that time, this 2-bedroom, 2-bath, detached garage townhouse was $150,000. Now, I'm not going to tell you how much this house cost, but listen, this is far above and beyond having a townhouse. I didn't have to worry about nothing about that house. And I didn't have a detached garage. And I didn't have to take care of the yard. And I didn't have to lay my trash out because we had dumpsters. And I didn't have to do half of the stuff that I have to do here. Now, I'm going to have the background covered up so you won't see all the boxes behind me. But I'm still unpacking. I'm trying to get myself ready for a housewarming party of the century. And guess what I'm going to have as a banner that people can see when they walk in the door. Because I got teased about this relentlessly on YouTube, in YouTube comments, in a live that I participate in a lot. It's going to be called Ray's Boom Boom Room, Fantasy Turned Reality. That's just going to be a subline underneath the other title, Ray's Boom Boom Room. Remember Ray Gibson in Life? Now, I didn't name myself that because of that movie. I completely forgot about that movie. And I didn't choose the name Ray because of my father calling me the Ray Charles of the computer industry because of the way my hands fly over the keyboard. You know what? I keep bumping this table. I didn't name myself Ray or my middle name because I had an uncle with that name and a cousin with the same middle name that I have. I went on a website that had a bunch of boys' names, and I just went through them. I looked at their meanings, and I picked my name based on that. I just waited for a name to jump out at me, and that's the one that jumped out at me, so I chose it. So, but Ray's Boom Boom Room, that is just so funny. If you've never seen the movie Life, spoiler alert, one of the scenes in the movie was Eddie Murphy talking about Ray's Boom Boom Room, which was a nightclub, and he built this fantasy and had all the guys in the prison standing around imagining Ray's Boom Boom Room in the live. He never had a bar or a club with that name, but he wanted one. Ended up spending their life in prison until him and Martin Lawrence figured their way out of the prison. And by then they were really old men. Now listen, I got this place at 65 years old. So guess what? It is never too late for anything. It is never too late for anything. And again, your circumstances only rule your life if you let them. Circumstantially, I shouldn't have been able to get this house. Circumstantially. So what do you think made that happen? Me by myself? Nah. There were forces behind me. There's probably ancestors behind me. My angels were behind me, and they made that happen. As long as I put myself in the position to let it fly and then trust that they would kick in at a later time, and they did. So I'm sitting here in my, what do you call this room? A loft area, and it's in between my bedrooms. I've got this master bedroom that is so big that I can't see my little ass TV across the room. I'm gonna have to do something about where I put that thing. I've got projects I gotta create. You know, I bought some things before I moved here. A little entertainment stand for my really old JVC boom box. It's not really a boom box. It's not portable because you can't pick it up and walk around with it. The speakers are detached from the amp, well, from the, what do they call that thing in the middle? Anyway, the one that plays DVDs and radio and, sorry, my nose is itching. What does that mean? That has some kind of a superstitious meaning. But anyway, yeah, so I have to put that together, and then I've got this media stand entertainment thing for my TV in my bedroom I have to put together. And I've got a couple of shelves, big shelves that I'm going to put in my garage that I got to put together. And all of this has to be done by the beginning of December when the party happens. But I feel blessed. And did I say why I'm wearing this hat? Because underneath it, I need a haircut. Yeah, I did say that in the beginning, didn't I? But despite all the insanity going on, the elections, our rights, all sorts of rights being stripped away, or being the beginnings of them being stripped away by a very insane right-wing sector of society who wants to do away with democracy, wants to do away with all sorts of rights. They started with Roe versus Wade, and then they're jumping on the bandwagon to just start stripping away things that are connected to that decision. And we all know why this is happening. I bought Roland Martin's book called White Fear, How Browning of America is Freaking White People Out. Not every white person, but enough of them that it is causing all sorts of crazy things to happen. Like, everybody hear about what's going on with Twitter and them letting all sorts of racists call people out their names and not protecting the black class. Now, you start calling a bunch of Jewish people that stuff and see how far you get. They've got clout. They've got power. I don't care what they say, anti-Semitic or not. They've got it. They're really kind of considered white, but not white. And they have the privileges that we do not have. So if we get called out our name, nobody does anything about it. Nobody says anything about it. Nobody fights for us besides us. But you call other races that have more clout than we do, they end up in trouble. But anyway, the interview I just did for being a trans elder was with this Jewish woman that reminded me of my first love, who was Jewish, and we were together for 5 years, and I completely lost track of her because she changed her names. Having nothing to do with me, but she changed her names, and now I don't know who she is. So this lady reminded me of her, and I was like, whoa. It was like going back, how many years has it been? 40-something years? And seeing that whole scenario play out in front of my eyes through interviewing with this really warm, kind-hearted lady who I keep running into people like this, and I don't know what it is about my energy that just basically draws good people and bad people into my life. Now, I don't leave the bad ones there for long. I kick them out. But the good ones, seem to stick around, or maybe they stick around, maybe they don't. I'm just blessed enough to run into people like this because I leave myself open to, in a transparent fashion, talk about my life, my story, my struggles, my successes. I just throw everything in the bag and talk about it on YouTube, here on YouTube. And it takes a lot more courage to do this than you can imagine. It's nerve-wracking. Even if I don't seem nervous, I am. Ever since I did the very first video, I've got the same butterflies and things going on inside myself, inside my body when I do it every single time. So yeah, the people that watch me, go ahead and try it. You don't even have to put it on YouTube, but turn your phone on, get you a little stand or prop it up against books like I did at first, and turn on your video on your phone and start talking. Then play it back and see how you feel about it. See how you feel about putting your content on the internet. If you can figure out how to do it on YouTube. But it's not as easy as it looks. I just make it look easy because much of the time I'm relaxed, even though things are going on inside my body. I learned that in the military. I remember going up against some awards, and one award in particular, Airman of the Quarter. Or was it Airman of the Year? It was Airman of the Year. And I had to get up in front of, I was sitting down actually in front of a bunch of, upper chief master sergeants and people like that. There may have been officers in the room too. But I was so nervous, my knees were shaking, but I had the appearance of being very calm. And I don't know if the military taught that or if I just picked up on it or what, but yeah, I learned that to be that way in the military, so it has served me. And what doesn't serve me about me, I either change it or I learn to live with it. It's too easy to whine about yourself. Well, how it comes out is you don't end up whining about yourself. You end up whining and complaining about other things when it's really yourself that is at the bottom of what goes on in your life. You have the final say over everything that happens to you. Everything. You don't want a certain thing to keep happening? Stop doing that. Instead of hitting your head against the wall, bam, 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 bam. Try turning left. Try turning right. Don't be indecisive, but make a move. And that move has to be away from what you were doing and just alter what is going on inside of you. Transform that. Now I've had help because I've been drawn to things that help me transform, like Landmark Worldwide, and other programs that I've done throughout my life help me learn how to transform situations and myself so that I bend with the situations and I end up winning over those situations. And that spirit I got from my dad. You know, my dad was one of the biggest winners in Major League Baseball. And I picked up on that energy from him of how winning was important in my life. I don't like to lose. In fact, when I was young, I was a very sore loser. I did not like to lose, and I became much like him, probably even worse when I did lose. Usually sports, that's where it began. But it extended into my life. You know, I don't like to lose when it comes to anything. When it comes to women, dating, my career, other things that happen in my life. But to win, I have to change inside. It's not all about trying to change you, and try to change the circumstances directly. I change inside, and then those circumstances change indirectly, because I'm not attacking the circumstance or the situation directly. I am addressing me and how I'm dealing with it and what I'm thinking. That brings up another thing that I am doing, that I did have my homie in on it, but he kind of bailed because he got frustrated. And that is a group of men that we're learning about manhood. It is so very difficult to embrace what doesn't look good or sound good to other people, which ultimately means it doesn't sound good to yourself, doesn't sound good to you. Even if you're guilty of it, you won't embrace it because it doesn't look good, it doesn't sound good to yourself or other people. So you end up rejecting it. And I was having a discussion with somebody that, to break ourselves, especially trans men, to break ourselves of the patterns we learned being socialized as females, as women, you have to go inside. You can't just pretend. Well, you can pretend like that stuff isn't there, but it's there, and it's spurring everything you do, and everything you do. So the way that they combat not looking inside, not looking at self, not readjusting what you're doing in life, what you're doing about the way you move, the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you behave, the way you, all that other stuff they do inside, is to tell everybody else to back off. I'm going to define it my way. Okay, well, you can do that, but it doesn't mean you changed anything. Doesn't mean you're any different. Doesn't mean your emotions and your mentality is keeping up pace with your physical alterations of yourself. And that's a big, huge issue in the trans community. It really is. And then you got a whole other group of people that are rejecting gender altogether. And all of it is about rejecting, looking inside, and dealing with those things that is just very, very difficult to alter or transform if you don't embrace it first. You gotta embrace the good, the bad, the ugly about self. If you don't, the good, the bad, and especially the ugly will kick your ass and keep making things happen in your life to try to push you towards dealing with it. Deal with yourself. Deal with self. Deal with self. Deal with the good. Now, it's easy to deal with the good, right? But deal with the good, the bad, deal with it, and the ugly about yourself. Don't be so quick to go into denial about yourself. Things about yourself that don't look good, don't sound good to others and to yourself. That is the key to transformation, is to embrace it all. And when you transform, everything around you transforms. All those circumstances you think are impossible to deal with, or you don't want to deal with, or they're dealing with you. Okay, well, if you don't deal with yourself, you're not going to deal with those circumstances. And you're going to think that's your lot in life. You're going to think, this shit is handed to you and you don't have any choice in the matter. You have choices. And it all starts with yourself. I'm so grateful and proud to be a homeowner today. I mean, it don't even make sense that in 2005 was the last time I was homeless, that I went from that to this. If you had told me when I was younger that these kind of things were going to happen to me, I wouldn't have believed you. I thought I had it made. I was in the computer industry and, for a long time, for many years and decades, I did not ever lack for a job. But it all came crashing in 2001 when mainframes switched to servers, and I was caught on the mainframe side. It all just like that disappeared. Literally, people had no need for mainframes anymore, so they threw them out and they pulled servers in, and it was completely different technology. So I lost everything. Now I can't even, I haven't filled up this house, but I have stuff everywhere. It's like, I was living in Texas. The man that moved me from Texas to Georgia said, how in the hell did you fit 2 or 3 bedrooms worth of stuff in this 1-bedroom apartment? I said, I don't really know. I was stacking things very neatly in that apartment in Texas. But I hid it all. It was all in there. And I'm somewhat of a pack rat. And don't be laughing at me. I already know I'm a pack rat. So I've been carrying a certain amount of things around because of the fact that I lost almost everything except what I could fit in my car. At one time in my life, one of the times I was homeless, all I had was what could fit in my car. Then I was trying to live off of $300 a month for years. That was tough. But each time, I don't think that I ever thought it was permanent. And I have found ways since to make extra money however I can, so that I never become that broke again. That was hard. I was on food stamps and Section 8 and government housing, city government housing, and that period of time was very tough because I was coming off of a 6-figure income down to nothing. And it reminded me of the Great Depression, when people fell that far that fast, how they jumped off buildings. And instead of that, I felt like that at times. I felt like doing that at times. Then I thought, no, I would be unlucky and jump off of something and wake up with broken legs and hips and all sorts of shit, but I would wake up. That's the kind of thing that stopped me from going there, is how much pain I would be in if I woke up and broke half of my body trying to tell myself it was the end. So instead I went the other direction and said, okay, this isn't the end. It feels terrible, but it isn't the end. Something else has got to be out there for me. Something else, I'm going to be able to make something happen if I just hold on, by my fingernails if I had to. Just hold on, hang on. Nothing lasts forever except death. So don't go there. That's permanent. I'm trying to make a permanent solution to a temporary problem, because these things are temporary. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking. Shy of 30 minutes this time. Whoa. I took video of this house with all the boxes in it and stuff everywhere, but I'm not going to show that to anybody. I think I did that for myself, to show the before and after after I clean this place up and get everything unpacked. And I'm just, I have no words right now, except I'm grateful. By the way, if you go see Black Panther Wakanda Forever, take some tissues with you if you're ladies and you've got too much estrogen in your bloodstream. It's a tearjerker, folks. That's all I'm going to say about it. And I did fall asleep, and I don't remember when I woke up, so I'm going to have to wait till it's out on video, or go to the theater again. Go to a theater out here and try to pick up what I missed. I know when I woke up, I know what had just happened, because somebody in the film said what just happened, and I went, oh shit, I missed it. Fell asleep, just fell out. Trying to do too much while I'm trying to unpack and put things where they belong here. So if you like the content of my video, I didn't say that in the beginning, but if there's a subscribe button over here, hit that like button. And you all have a blessed rest of your week. It's Wednesday, November the 16th. Happy birthday, Audra. Love you, cuz. I'm out.